It's 5.5 things I like about living and working here in the UK.
Hi, my name is Jabel, and I would just like to say that coming here to the course really helps me gain confidence to take my exam, especially practicing with the equipment and materials. It feels like I'm at the OSCE Center taking my exam.
Welcome to the channel. Manong George here, and I'm a Filipino nurse working and living here in the UK for the past 10 years and over, I should say. So let's get started. So for the first one, what I really love about here in the UK is the NHS, or the National Health Service. Now, coming from the Philippines, we have not as robust healthcare system compared here to the UK, and most likely if you want to go for a better healthcare service, you'd always have to pay in some sort of way, whether it will be through the insurance sector or you pay by cash. That is the very first thing that the services would ask. So unlike in the Philippines, here in the UK, that NHS service is totally free. You know, well, when I say totally free, it's embedded in the tax, so you don't really see it. You don't really have to pay for it. Nobody will ask you, how do you have to pay? You know that you have to pay just to get for any emergency services. So it's nothing like that. And one thing as well, one of the most important things is I myself started out in the National Health Service when I first came here over the UK. And yeah, it's been a good employer to me, and it's and it's also a good service provider to me. And so the NHS is something that I really love here in the UK. Next, career opportunities. So for many Filipino nurses in the Philippines, the most common career ladder for us would be towards management. Yeah, there are very few specializations, especially during my time. This is going back 10 years ago now. But still, it hasn't, that career progression for nurses in the Philippines hasn't really carried over just yet. But here in the UK, there are so many specialities that a nurse can go to. And you can argue that nurses can also diversify into non-conventional roles. I.e., I myself am a nurse now working in the insurance sector. So very, very different. And I've met through our website. You can look it up on our article sections, FilipinoUKNurse.com. You can also look into our channel. We have tons and tons of interviews of many Filipino nurses going into different fields of nursing here in the UK. Well, you might think that only for nurses would there be diversification of career opportunities. Well, actually, if you're bringing over your dependent, they too have a lot of avenues to go to. Obviously, they just have to work for it and make sure that they qualify and get the correct qualifications for the job they want. But sky's the limit. You could do whatever you want. There's so many avenues that you could go to and excel in a career that you want.
Some tips on how you can land a job here in the UK.
Next, Next is the work-life balance, especially if you work in the NHS, especially if you're a nurse that works for the NHS. Now, what do I mean by this? Work-life balance, it's because if you look at the NHS and most of the healthcare sectors, the minimum you could get, well, on the private sector, it's probably 20 days. In the NHS, it's probably 27 days or 28 days of paid annual leave. And this annual leave you have to take every year, because chances are there's nothing that carries over every other on the next year. So what does that mean? It means that in a 12-month span, you at least have almost a month that you can take leave for and you get paid. Yes. Well, why is this quite good for us nurses? Well, because again, my comparison is again back in the Philippines, wherein my leave, then we call it vacation leave in the Philippines, is a standard 2 weeks. Compare that here, annually you can plan for a good holiday. And so yes, the work-life balance is very, very good. And the next thing that I love about the UK is travel. Now, travel does not only mean that I can travel abroad, I mean outside the UK, but also traveling within the UK. So traveling within the UK is very accessible, especially if you want to go first to those traditional touristy areas like London, big cities like London and Liverpool, Manchester. Yes, they're easily accessible. Even up to Scotland, you can get a train from anywhere, right? But then, if you want to go outside, then you can see Europe. Europe is literally just a doorstep away. From here, you could go to America, across the Atlantic. And again, travel here is very easy. There's a lot of airport hubs that you can fly from. This country, the UK, is a very good travel hub if you're interested in traveling. What I also love about this country is culture. Yes, you heard me, culture. The great thing about the culture here in the UK, again, it's so diverse. Did you know that the Philippines is the biggest overseas nurse provider here in the UK? However, there are other countries that delegations from other countries that you would meet in your own workplace. You would meet people from South Asia, like India and Pakistan. You can meet people from the Middle East who works here, people from Europe, Italians, Polish people, and it's up to you. I mean, personally, I enjoy meeting these people, learning a bit of their language, learning a bit of their food, you know. Well, the culture itself, the UK, very long line of history dating back from the Stone Age, i.e. the Stonehenge, yes, and up to the very recent, they're still making good history with the history of the royals, yes.
But to everyone's regret and frustration, the only person I have ever loved is you.
So if you're interested in many of these things like I am, then yes, the UK is a good place for you to work at and live. 5.5 things that I love about the UK. What is this half? Well, that would be food. British food. Alright, so what do I mean by this? Why is it a half? Right, I'd say what I love most would be the sweet sides. Cakes, pastries, I love them. But on the savory side, not so much. Maybe fish and chips would do good for me, but I can't eat that every day. Okay, so you see what I mean. But this is not to put why I say I still like it. But for me, that's why I'd say I like it. But then again, specific for British food, I'm not really too sure. All right, and so that's the 5.5 things I love about living and working here in the UK. Again, this is my own personal opinion. Feel free to share with me your thoughts on this. And if you've seen this video, watch out for our next video where I tell you about 5.5 things that I don't necessarily love about the UK. And with that, always remember, Manong knows.
Manong knows best, put your worries to rest when staying in the United Kingdom. Manong knows best.